Awesome. Welcome to our interview here at the Empower Her Wealth Summit, where we are creating this environment for you to learn so much from so many awesome women. Today, we have this powerhouse that is going to help you in so many different aspects. She really just had to narrow it down. She's such a powerhouse. So I'm excited to bring to the table Gini Trask. She's an amazing person in herself that she has risen from being able to, well, I'll let her tell the story. Ginny, take it away. Welcome to the Empower Her Wealth Summit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Joanna. And, I love the space that you're creating here for people to be empowered to build their life and their business the way that they want. And it's so important that if we have businesses, that those businesses are serving us, right? That the things that we're doing to generate revenue serve us, not just by generating revenue, but that they actually, are aligned with our heart, our soul, and that they support us, right? And I love that. I really feel that you're creating that space here. So thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it, love it, love it. So excited to have you really dive into, like I said, we had a lot that we wanted to cover and we had to narrow it down. And which you should all look her up because she's got way more to offer than we could do in 30 minutes here. So we'll give you all the details in the show notes, but let's just start with, well, who are you, Jeannie? Where do you come from and why do you do what you do?
So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Everyone in my business owns or at least has owned their own business. And for me, so business just was kind of second nature to me. I opened my first business with my sister when I was 16. And then my first multi-million dollar company was a partnership that I had with my mom in my early 20s. We actually went from zero to $1 million in revenue very, very quickly in the first like 6 months. But they haven't all been like that. I've owned or operated 5 multi-million dollar companies. I've been hired to start companies for other people and build them up and sell them. So I've done a lot in my lifetime. And what I'm really passionate about is helping entrepreneurs to create businesses that are what I call aligned. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about what it looks like when it's not in alignment, because I have built a business that's not in alignment. And it was horrible, guys. It was terrible. I guess, would you like me to tell that story a little bit so that they all have the cautionary tale?
Oh my God, yes. We love the down and dirty. And you know what? Nobody's void of challenges, so we would love to hear.
Yeah. So I still have a successful travel company. I built the company to just under $5 million a year in revenue. And I couldn't figure out why I was having all this monetary success. And yet I was utterly burnt out. And yes, guys, there's burnout from overworking, right? From working too much. But I did all the things. Like I took the vacations. I even had a personal assistant, which if you've never had some of you guys have virtual assistants. If you've never had a personal assistant, I highly recommend it if you can afford it. The guy literally cooked me food, got up in the morning with me and worked me out. We did a workout, cooked food, did my laundry, cleaned my house, opened my mail, even went and got my dad out of his nursing home and would bring him to my office. I mean, literally, personal assistant did absolutely everything, right? That's the level that I was at. And yet I would wake up every morning and I hated my life. And I started doing some healing work and I figured out that I had actually built a business out of a wound. And this is very common because growing up, right, we all have tough childhoods. Most of us have had some kind of challenge or trauma in our childhood. Actually, studies show that by the age of 24, 2/3 of the population has undergone some type of trauma. And as a response to that trauma, we can create these coping mechanisms, right? Well, these coping mechanisms sometimes show up like amazing hospitality, aka people pleasing, right? So I was great at travel. I was amazing in the hospitality space because I grew up to be a people pleaser. And what I didn't realize is I was trying to heal that wound. And so I created a business where it felt to my body and my soul like every day we were getting an opportunity to heal the wound. Because I don't know if you've ever traveled, but things are not perfect. Things are not perfect, right? I just got a message from a friend who just had a 12-hour delay on his flight to Naples, right? So nothing's perfect. And so every day I was faced with these challenges, and that people pleaser would kick in. And it was like, oh, we've got to fix this, because if we can fix this, then they'll love us, right? They won't leave us. And it's true, I did have a 100% client retention rate, but at what cost? Because every day what was actually happening was I was reopening that wound, and I was actually kind of making things worse. So sometimes we've created entire businesses out of places that are wounded, or out of coping mechanisms that are masquerading as talents. And one of the ways that that we're going to talk about today, that people, it's an indicator that maybe something in your business is out of alignment or isn't working for you, is we're going to look at these 5 areas of your business. But yeah, it's, guys, don't do what I did. Okay. Don't do what I did. Catch it early and really step into your greatness, because, there's this zone of greatness that a lot of us are in, but I want people to be in their zone of genius, which is that top part of the triangle. It's that little top part where things are effortless and they feel like magic. Now, business is not completely effortless, right? But the feeling when we're connecting with the clients, the feeling when we're serving the clients, if we're in our zone of genius, that's really where the magic happens for them and for us. And we create a business that makes us smile all day long. I just talked to a client today who's in that place. He's been working with me for the last 6 months, and they just had another 10K month, and they're just so lit up, and they love their clients and they love their business, and all the pieces, these 5 pieces that we're going to talk about, are working for them now, and they weren't working for them before. So that's really the key, is you can sometimes diagnose this when you look at these 5 areas of business.
Yeah, so I have just one quick question before you dive into that. So I have a lot of business women that are on this summit, and I also have some that are in the W-2 world. Like, can you help connect it in both ways? Like just being a human, like how this lanes in both lanes?
Oh, sure, absolutely. And and if you are a W-2 person, that's awesome. You still could be in an industry or a role, right, that's created out of this coping mechanism. And just because you're in that doesn't mean that you have to quit your job. Okay. I still own that business. It's just that I'm so aware now, number one, of the things in the business that kind of really are seated in that place of wounding. I also am, I'm super aware of my reactions, and I'm very aware of not taking on things that are going to trigger that piece, right? And sometimes we don't have choice in W-2 world of our tasks, but I think having awareness and saying, oh, okay, this maybe this is a coping mechanism for me. Maybe I got into this industry because I had some things going on that were trauma responses, or coping mechanisms. But now that I know that, I can flip it, and I can be empowered, and I can change the way I react, and realize now where those reactions and those emotions are coming from.
So good, so good. I think this is great clarity for everyone to hear, regardless of you being in business or even if you're just a mom at home. Really, like, coping mechanisms are real in every aspect of everyone's life. So
Yeah.
let's dive in.
All right. So I have created a fun little thing called Work Party, and you guys are all going to get an invitation to it later. And it is for business owners or aspiring business owners. And we cover each of these 5, we cover one each week. And so the first part, and we can kind of start anywhere, but the first part is, so it's basically, it's marketing. I'll go over them first. It's marketing, sales, money, okay, and that's like accounting, but it's also your money mindset, right? Time and tech. And you're right, we can absolutely talk about these in regard to folks who are stay-at-home moms or W-2s, just anybody. We can still talk, because all of these things still show up in your life. And that's actually how I kind of look at each piece, is what does that mean in your life? right? So when we talk about sales, we'll talk about, even for those of you that don't have businesses, what that means, how that shows up in your life. So yeah, so it's these five, right? So it's marketing, sales, money, time, or tech. And so I'll just start with one. So if we talk about marketing, okay. Oh, it raised my hand. Oops. Sorry guys. I didn't mean to do that. It's just I'm trying to talk with my hands, I'm not Italian. I'm just like honorary Italian over here. So yeah, so so let's talk about marketing, okay? Really what marketing is marketing is about your visibility. Okay? So if you own a business and you're not visible, your business isn't visible, people can't find you, right? They can't do business with you. And if you're not in business for yourself, right, I want you to think about your visibility in the world. And so I like to just ask people to kind of just become present, in your body, feel. When I think about being visible, how do I feel? How does that feel to me? And if you have challenges around visibility, like it doesn't feel safe to be visible, right? It feels like you're going to get attacked, or it feels like you're going to get in trouble, or it feels like you can't do it right. You're not perfect enough. You have to be a perfectionist. A lot of perfectionism can really kick in this piece, and a lot of self-judgment, a lot of those wounds around, I'm not good enough. Those types of things can come up for us. And so the first piece is just really like kind of, settling into your body and feeling, when I think about people, about really being visible, being my bold, magical self, bringing all of my authenticity up. How comfortable on a scale of 1 to 10 do I feel doing that? Now, in business, how we know this piece is out of alignment for us is that we might we might kind of rely too much on like chat GPT or that type of thing to write our content, and there's not enough of us in it, right? We might not send marketing emails, or we might not post on Facebook or do any of the marketing things we know we should be doing. We might not be doing those. And really, if we're not, then my question is, okay, so what is stopping you from doing that? Right? Is it this piece of around visibility? And I actually, in my life, I have meditations and things around all of these things for people. And actually each week
Okay.
at Work Party, we do those. We do a meditation around each piece. So even if you're a W-2 person, feel free to come on to Work Party, because we meditate and we really work on fixing these little pieces, right, that are maybe out of alignment. So that's how that's going to show up in your business or in your life if you're not wanting to be visible. What that could look like in in a regular, in a person's life who doesn't own a business is really kind of not dressing the way that you want to dress, not saying the things you want to say, your truth, right? Not speaking your truth, hiding from, really expressing yourself in an authentic way. So, even if you're not in the business world, it can definitely show up for you. So,
Very interesting.
yeah, I mean, hey, it shows up for all of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Way to pull that in, because you know, even if it is just, a business person listening to this revolves into your personal world too. Like that's what I'm hearing, right? So like you're all one for the most part.
It is. That's the thing about owning a business. And that's why when you said, oh, I've got listeners that don't necessarily own their business, that's fine, right? Because it's all one. It's all one thing. And we want to separate our what we do for a living and our personal selves. But at the end of the day, we're one being that's living this expression of all these things, right? And I promise you that, I'm glad you said that, because I want to say, a lot of us are taught that, oh, your wounds are going to show up in your relationships. Like, and we all think of like love relationships, right? So, oh, if I grew up in an abusive household, then I need to watch out because I might marry an abusive man. You might not. You might attract yourself an abusive boss, right? And you might attract a great man, right? So the thing is, we think that this wounding and these things are contained to our personal life, or that they're contained to our love life. And really, it can express in a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. So yeah.
good. So good.
So, and the next one is I'm going to go into sales, which I know most of you out there, first of all, if you're in business for yourself, you might be very disappointed to find out that you are now a salesperson. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
you are,
so
right?
true.
But my partner Joe is actually an amazing sales mentor, and he works with me at Work Party. You guys, if you guys come, you'll get to meet him. Um, but he's like, guys, people think that like everyone's like, oh, I can't do sales. I can't do sales. I could never do sales. And he's like, you do it every day. You do it every day, right? Because you sell yourself on things all the time. You sell yourself on the fact that you're not a salesperson. You've sold yourself that idea, right? You've sold yourself a set of beliefs. And all sales is helping people. Really, truly. The top salesman, he's a top salesman. He would never sell somebody something that they did not need, that was not going to help them move forward, right? But so the way selling shows up in our lives, right, is we sell ourselves on what is going to move us forward, negative or positive, right? So when you, again, when you settle into your body and you think about this piece of your life, right? When you think about the word sales, what comes up? For some of us, it's a sleazy used car salesman that comes up, right? And if you're in business for yourself, you're going to probably want to get past that because you're going to have to do some sales probably. Um, so when this piece is out of alignment for us, sales is really about, it's actually about boundaries and about helping. And so it's about the way that we serve the world and the way that the world serves us and how comfortable we feel with all of that. So if you're out of alignment in sales in your business, it might look like not having sales conversations. Like you just don't want to have those sales conversations. You're doing everything else. Like you're writing a million marketing emails, right? And you're taking all these classes and you're taking all these courses and you're watching all these summits, but you're not actually having sales conversations with people, right? And the way this can show up in your regular life is, is how much are you able to assert yourself and stand for what you need, right? For what you need and what is important to you and what you want. And are you comfortable having conversations about your needs and getting your needs met? Because really, at the end of the day, if you don't make sales in your business, you're not going to have a business, right? And that is about getting your needs met. So when you look at it that way, it's how comfortable are you getting your needs met, and how comfortable do you feel receiving? And I have a really great little practice for this. If I have like 2 seconds to share it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So I have this great receiving, I have two great receiving practices. One is to put your hand on your heart every time that someone gives you anything. Like your husband hands you a cup of coffee and you say, I received that. Let me breathe that in. And you just breathe that thing in. Anytime someone gives you a compliment, what we tend to do is we tend to brush over these things, right? We tend to just not even think about the small ways that we're able to receive. So I encourage you to do that practice. The other practice is you can imagine breathing in through the left side of your body and thinking to yourself, it's safe to receive. Then you want to because we want to hold on to some of the money, right, that we make. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. So then you want to think to yourself as you're you want to hold the breath just slightly in the middle there and think, it's safe to create safety and stability. And then when you breathe out, you're going to imagine breathing out the right side and saying to yourself, it's safe to express myself, right? Because really sales is us showing up as our authentic selves, offering a service or a product that we truly believe is going to help someone,
Yeah.
right? And then figuring out whether or not it's going to. And if it doesn't help them, awesome. They shouldn't take it, right? And I wouldn't want them to take it. And when you get to that point in your business, that's really when you start to realize like your product isn't for everybody. You're not for everybody, by the way. Guys, if half the world hates you, guess what? The other half of the world still loves you. It's okay, right? And so, but it's becoming comfortable with that. It's also about becoming comfortable with rejection, right? So these feelings come up in us, and the more that we can heal that piece, the more that we are able to ask for what we want. You have to ask for what you want before you can get what you want, right? And it's important. It's important in business, but it's also important in your whole life. Like if you need help with the kids, right? Being able to ask for that help. And also, people are allowed to say no, by the way, right? When we ask for help, just like in sales, they're allowed to say no. And we can adjust and begin to heal the way that that feels to us, right? It's not anything about us. It's that it wasn't right for them. You know, if you're asking for help and someone says no, the timing, it could be the timing, it could be a lot of things, right? But it's
Yeah.
about not really getting bogged down in that feeling.
Yeah, it's not about you. They didn't
No,
say no to you. They just said no. That's their
the
boundary. Having
thing,
the time or the ability or the,
right?
yeah, it's the thing.
They're
Yeah.
saying no to the thing.
Yeah.
And when you can separate that from you, they're saying no to the thing and not you. Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly.
Thank
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess we can talk about money next, right? And this is the part people, you're so like, and I know you're going to be talking a lot about, I think, like kind of wealth building and that type of thing, which is awesome. Um, you know, money is, again, and you can use the receiving practice I taught you guys in the money aspect too, right? So when our money is out of alignment, it typically shows up like we're putting our head in the sand. And guys, you know that can be business or personal. So, download an app, right? And because the first key to being financially successful is looking at your numbers, right? I look at it every day. I look at my bank account for better or for worse every day, right? And I anticipate what's coming up. And so when you're out of alignment there, you might really have a hard time looking at it. Like I don't want to look, I don't want to see it. And so if that's in your business, you might be shying away from accounting. If it's in your personal life, you might be shying away from looking at your personal finances. But I'll tell you this, every time that I have been afraid to look, that I've been in that place, if I will just start actually paying attention and looking and tracking, and there's some great apps out there for tracking your budget, right? I know Rocket Money is one of them. There's a couple others. But the minute that you start tracking it, it's like this little tiny beam of light can begin to open up and you can make a difference in your life. Every time I've ever done that, I have eliminated all my debt within a year, and I have been able to start putting money into savings. And typically, anytime that I've been in a really bad place, if I will just begin that process of budgeting and paying attention and looking, my debt goes way down and my savings goes way up pretty quickly, just because I'm paying attention. And all of you deserve abundance. You all deserve an abundant, beautiful life. That's what, we're meant to thrive. We're here to thrive. And so, I hope you guys can breathe that in, that you are meant to thrive. And I do a lot of work, around what I call word baths, where I tell people all these amazing things about themselves. And I think it's so important for you to be able to receive that. So those receiving practices I taught work for this piece as well. So.
Yeah, an example of that, like a 2-second example, just a
Yeah.
word bath, like let that go untouched.
I would love to give you a word bath, Joanna. You are so lovable. You are so lovable. And you are so powerful. And you matter so, so much.
I love it. I received that.
Right?
Thank
There you go.
that in.
There you go. Breathe it in. Right. And it's powerful, because the truth is that you're all of those things, and you're even more than that. And so, and all of you out there watching, you are lovable, you are loved. And I can personally say that I accept you exactly as you are, because that is my specialty in the world. I accept you exactly as you are. So yeah, thank you for letting me give you a word bath. I didn't know that was going to happen. That was great.
For sure. Awesome. So take us down to the next pillar
Okay,
and
so yeah, so we did so I would say so tech. And now this is a funny one, right? Because we're like, I mean, what? How could this possibly be a wound? How could I possibly have wounding around tech? But guys, are some of us are those people that like we get around electronics and they just cease to work.
yeah.
It happens to me. It happens to my stepmom too. My stepmom's the worst about it, you guys. It's really it's hilarious how bad it is with her. But even in our businesses, this can show up too. Like we're constantly changing tech platforms. So if you have misalignment in your tech in your business, it looks like you have a bunch of tech that doesn't work. You don't know how to use it. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. Or you're constantly switching horses. I'm here to tell you, I have actually done tech for several companies that I started up and, gotten the point of sale system on board, made it all work, created the whole infrastructure, the tech side of the infrastructure for companies. And I'll tell you this, there's no perfect software out there. So stop looking and just learn what you've paid for, learn what you have and learn it really well and make it and figure out how it can work for you. Right. And we do give recommendations, on Work Party, we have experts come and talk about different softwares and different things. But our big thing is just, actually the switching horses in the middle of the race is actually much harder.
Yeah.
It's much easier if you do just kind of stick with what you know for a while. Now, if it's chronically not working, you can look at that. But even in our business, I mean, even in our personal lives, right? How is this working for us, or how is this not working for us? Sometimes I'm going to just say this out loud. That's really hard to say for those of us that it's true for. Some of us are addicted to the struggle. Some of
Struggle.
us are addicted to the struggle.
Huh.
And I know that for me, it's definitely true sometimes. I really grew up in a lot of chaos. And
Mm.
so when I have those issues, tech is always there for me. Tech will always give me a struggle, right? If I'm not struggling anywhere else, by golly, I can struggle with that remote control or whatever that device is, right? And so, when that happens, I invite you to breathe into it. The next time that you get super frustrated at a piece of tech, I invite you to breathe into it and say, okay, what is this really about? And
Mm.
sometimes we just need to release some anger. My stepmom has totally embraced it. She's like, you know what? It's fine because this is my outlet. I release all my anger at all my tech devices. I yell and scream at them and I get it out of I'm like, okay, that works, right? I view that as a healed scenario right there.
Yeah.
You go, girl, right? But what is it, right? Why is this happening? And really breathing into what's the deal here, right? And so then, of course, the last one is time management. And this is actually kind of a big one. What I would say, first of all, in this, whether it's, you know, business or personal life, is where are you wasting time? And the best thing to do is to start to track your time. So a lot of us, first of all, we have a misconception about how long it takes us to do certain things. Like we think, oh, like I'm going to go grocery shopping. That only takes an hour. But if it really takes 2 hours, you're always going to be in that deficit, right? You're always going to be behind it. So, you really want to pay attention to, first of all, being realistic with yourself. How long do things actually take you to do, right? And where do you avoid by spending time on social media? Now for those of us that are in business, there are things that we need to do on social media potentially, right? We need to be talking about ourselves and promoting our stuff, but it's a very easy trap to get into, to begin going down that rabbit hole of endlessly scrolling, right? So my suggestion is you set a timer, right? The other thing is that we don't constantly, by the way, have to be available for everybody. I don't know if you guys remember back when this guy was, attached to a wall and you couldn't
Yeah.
just use your phone all the time. And like when you left for the day, people could no longer contact you. It is okay, right? You don't actually have to let people have access to you all hours of the day and night. And one of the great things I like to do is I like to actually use do not disturb on my phone, right?
Mm.
And on the iPhone, if you set it to I think on Android, you can just set a do not disturb message. On iPhone, if you want it to text people, a message, you need to set it to like driving mode, but you can put a customized message that's like, hey, this is my downtime. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. You can't talk to me right now, right? You can actually put a custom message if you put it on driving mode, and it'll text them like whatever it is you want it to say. But start to figure out, where can you reclaim your time? Because the most important piece of all of this is actually being able to get still and quiet so that you can hear that still quiet voice inside of you that
Mm.
knows the truth about all these pieces, that knows what is in alignment and what isn't. And that's the most important part. So that's why time management is so important, because so many of us are running and running and running. And it's really a form of avoidance. It's a form of avoiding the things that we don't want to look at or the things that are uncomfortable. But through those things, on the other side of those things is the magic, is this amazing life that exists on the other side of the constant running and the constant busy, where life can expand and unfold and just be juicy and beautiful and wonderful. So
Love it. I love it. So what I'm hearing is that if you are someone that's feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, um, and avoiding being visible, right? Then you're acting from core wounds,
very
right?
likely, it's very likely that you are.
Very
And
likely.
there's a lot of great programs out there. There's a lot of great things, but even just meditation can be helpful. And like I said, every week on Work Party, I lead a meditation. If you guys do wind up following me, you'll see I lead meditations all the time. Just even getting quiet for a few minutes and breathing can be the start to healing these things. There's all kinds of amazing programs out there, all amazing therapy programs, amazing healing arts programs. But you deserve to live an amazing, juicy, wonderful life. And I can tell you that on the other side of some of these big, gnarly core wounds, it's really nice. It's really nice over here on the other side. So, I highly recommend getting to the other side of them.
Well, I have one important question left for
Sure.
you, that everyone is anticipating and waiting to hear. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I love to be out in nature. So one of the
Mhm.
big things I do for people that are really in a bad place, like I've gone through what's called the dark night of the soul, right? So anybody who's in that place or who's really having a challenge, I do these things called solo retreats with people, and they're out in the woods. I own a 30-acre forest, and I'm actually going out there right after this. I'm literally getting in the car and going out to the forest. I absolutely love to be out in nature. I love anything outdoors. I could live outside. I just want to be outside all the time. It makes me so, so happy. I also love to dance, and I love to sing. I do karaoke usually one night a week. And at our events that we host, we almost always, not almost, we always do karaoke at our events. So yeah, I love to sing, dance, and be outside.
I love it. I love it. It's been so great to get to know you. And because we're very into mm, helping people with their leadership in the wealth part of this, what is your favorite book that's made a difference in your world?
I would say Tools of Titans
Mm.
is a really great book by Tim Ferriss. It's actually a compilation of everything that he did on his blog. He kind of took like the highlights of it, not his blog, his podcast. And so you get to hear from people like Jeff Bezos and people like that. I mean, these are really high powered individuals that are in this book giving their top nuggets. It's a great book.
Oh, that's so good. So good. I wrote that one down. And so being one of the titans of the world, do you have a nugget that you would like to share with the audience? Something, a free gift?
My free gift?
Yes.
Okay. So I do have a free gift. It's called Work Party, and it's every Monday. It's at 4 p.m. Central, and we'll be putting the information out where you guys can receive it. But it's really fun. It's 90 minutes. It's we dance, we sing, we listen to music in the beginning, we do a meditation, we go through these 5 pillars, and we're really an amazing community. We're such a great, really what I'm most proud of with it is the community. So we would love to have you guys join us. Everybody really holds each other in so much compassion, and everyone is so kind to each other. I'm so proud of the group that we have at Work Party. So we would love for you guys to be a part of it. Even if you don't own a business, I think you could still get a lot out of it. And we do give you time at the end of every session to get some things done. So if you have problems with time management, perfect. We give you 30 minutes at the end, and hey, you could go take a nap for that 30 minutes. I don't care. Whatever works for you, whatever your soul needs, that's what we want you doing at the end of that session. So yeah, I would love to have people join us in that, and we're giving you guys that as a free bonus.
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll have this in the show notes so that everybody can have the link to it. We'll get that data to you. And where else can they find you, Gini?
So you can also find me on Facebook, Gini Trask. Pretty easy. I mean, you guys have the spelling of my name. I do have a cousin that has the same name as me.
Oh,
It's just one of those things. What are you gonna do, right? So you
how
guys just have to
odd.
emblazon my face in your memory, so you can
We
find me.
never forget you. I love it.
Yeah, awesome.
The outdoor girl that loves to sing and dance, and just truly, you could tell that you are in nature all the time because of your disposition. Like, it makes a huge difference to connect with nature. And just trivia of the day, I'm told that sometimes we don't even touch nature until, like, for 5 years we don't even touch nature, because of walking on cement and whatever. But it's such an energy rejuvenator. So
It really
it
is.
shows. It shows.
It really is. It really is. Well, thank
Well,
you.
awesome, Janie. I just love your glow, and thank you for sharing those wonderful tips with us, those pillars that we can all get a hold of, and not just get a hold of, but actually implement on the Monday call.
That's right. That's right. Hopefully we'll see you guys all on Work Party.
I
All right.
love it.
Thanks so much, Joanna.
All right, take care, Janie.
Bye.
Bye.